Hello everyone, it's me, and I'm back with a video at last. Now, I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to do another Path of Exile video so soon after the last one, but as it turns out, War for the Atlas is so much bigger than I was expecting it to be, especially considering Fall of Areth was already so big. I had expected this to be a very small update to the endgame, maybe some new maps and some other features, but it turns out it's been quite huge, and I have an excessive amount to talk about. So I'm going to share with you my very first Elder fight, which is this one right here, and I went into this fight semi-blind. I hadn't watched it done, but I had been hinted at with what to do here. So a friend of mine told me about that area attack, and they said that it was very Dominus-like, which obviously put me in the mindset here when I was playing through this to stick close to the Elder, and you could see it when that area attack happened that the inside circle was normal coloured, whereas the outside circle was not. And so that hint definitely paid off. But then he did that massive tentacle slam, which obliterated me because I was not ready for that. And obviously I was expecting to die quite a bit during this fight. It's the first time not really knowing the mechanics. What do you expect? And this is from a guy who has not fought the Shaper like ever. It's so hard to just get to the Shaper. The best I've managed is to hit tier 15 maps where you do the occasional tier 15, and but you can't sustain them, so then it's back down to like 10s and 11s for a while. So I've never fought Shaper, so it is very cool to actually have access to one of these super crazy powerful bosses. It's so awesome. And this is a tier 7 Elder. He is, as it turns out, really not that tough for this build. Now, this is my League starter, which I took a gamble on because I'm self-found, so I can't make any assumption about what sort of gear I'm going to get, but I always end up with a Namahu's Flame at some point during the League, and so I took a gamble to see if I would get one either early or late in the League, because sometimes it's early on, and I lucked out. Got a Namahu's Flame in a tier 4 map, and my build has just been shitting on all the content so far. Disappointingly enough, this is a Valpak build, because if you're going to obviously talk about the changes that they've made to the game since 3.1, they obviously nerfed Valpak, which was something that I was very much in favour of. But as you can see here, I am largely able to face tank nearly everything. I face tanked all of the Elder Guardians as well. They were all yellow tier, I think. It's very hard to actually control where they spawn. I was obviously hoping to get a white tier Elder fight for the first fight, since I hadn't done it before, and you want it to be as easy as possible when you're going to learn new mechanics. But turned out that he just decided to spawn in a yellow map. His Guardians just spawn all over the place. You've got really no control. You've just got to let him consume a bunch of maps, and then he'll just show up at random. So I'm not looking forward to trying to get him to spawn in a red tier map, because from the amount of territory that he'd have to hold, that's going to be like really difficult, especially with red tier map sustain, where you have to get red tier maps that you can sort of drive out Shaper or Elder influence in those maps in order to confine him only to red tier maps. That will be a pain in the ass. Like, sustaining white and yellow is fine. Getting into the red maps that you can actually control where they go and force the Elder into the red tier so that he spawns in there, I'm not seeing that happening. It's a real shame. But yeah, other than that, League's been going very, very well for me. The League mechanic is cool. I've been able to fight some Elder Liches. I've been able to fight, obviously, Elder and his Guardians. So I'm super satisfied with how the League is going in terms of experiencing the content. Very much unlike previous Leagues, where quite often being self-bound has sort of really restricted what I've been able to actually get to. But no, this has gone quite well. I do have a number of criticisms though. One of them is definitely Leech with both Slayers and Berserkers. This is a Berserker, being able to literally face tank everything. I think only the Constrictor I couldn't face tank. I actually had to move around and junk. And that's because the Constrictor's a pain in the ass, but we'll talk about her in the actual full-scale review. But there we go, that's the Elder. That is a mid-tier Elder. I don't know if his power is like what color map he's in, or if it's actually tied directly to the tier. Like, is a tier 8 different from a tier 7? Because this is tier 7 Elder, or is it going to be like 1 to 5? That's one power group, so Elder is always the same strength across those groups. Or is Elder going to be like each separate tier he gets a little buff? Who knows? Yeah, it was a satisfying fight. I got a nice belt out of it, which is pretty cool. It's been a pretty good league for belts, honestly, because you've got the Stygian Vice, obviously, which is just... oh, it's created so many problems that I can foresee that I'm not seeing good things for Abyss League entering sort of the standard game, because those Stygian Visors pretty much crap on most of the other belts in the game. The Cyclopean Coil is better than my Stygian Vise, despite the fact that it's got like just a flat elemental damage to axes jewel in it. So, I mean, my Stygian Vise isn't great. I did get a really nice belt this league. It's like the sort of belt that I would have loved to get in literally any other league. In fact, I'd love to get any item like that in like any league, but I've never got it before, which is a real shame. Because yeah, the one league where I get like an awesome belt, which I'll show you, is like, that's the league where I don't want that belt, because it's the league that shat on belts. But anyway, that's all for now, and I will hopefully produce a full scale review of both this Abyss League, and as well as a lengthy list of complaints about balancing, as well as where I think Path of Exile could go next and where I think it should go next. So that's going to be exciting. Look forward to it. It will be very long and very talky. You'll probably love it if you're into that sort of shit.